Instruction interview by me, Mr. Javier Cano. First of all, what are the ISTE standards? ISTE standards stands for International Society for Technology and Education. How many standards are there in the ISTE standards? There are 7 standards. And these are our standards: learner, leader, citizen, collaborator, designer, facilitator, analyst. And at the bottom, I uh, posted a link where you can click on to get more detail on each category. And for the interview with Mr. Prado, Mr. Prado is a physical educator who works within Rhythm and Moves. He has currently received his credential through San Jose State University. And he has a very relaxed style of teaching with great management strategies in class. If you ever see Mr. Prado teaching, you'll notice that he doesn't raise his voice very loud. He actually lowers it after he blows his whistle. That way, students actually pay more attention because they want to hear what he has to say. It's also a great way to see who's still talking after the whistle has been blown. And those students get usually sent to what we call a refocus station. It's kind of like a timeout area, but instead of just sitting out, they fill out a a little a checklist of things where they write their thoughts and why were they sent there, etc. And for the interview, how can technology make you successful? I use technology in the form of a speaker. It works great as a start and stop tool. I teach physical education and I believe music keeps the body moving. Also, a lot of the lessons involve using music as a teaching tool. What tools can be incorporated with technology to help the class be efficient? One way that I use technology to be more efficient is by using the Tabata app. Tabata is a fitness app that is used during circuit training. It also has a timer with a sound for starting, stopping, and it makes a clicking sound to let students know they are about to switch stations. How to use technology to enhance class collaboration. Within the lesson, students know that when the music stops, they must drop their equipment to the floor and listen for instruction. How to use technology to differentiate instruction and personalize the learning experience. Not all music is for everybody, so when picking songs for activities, I must make sure that the music is age appropriate. What is the best way to create a culture where students can benefit the most from technology? I feel that in order for students to appreciate learning a new sport, they should research the rules and watch videos before learning the new sport. If there's a movie that relates to the sport, then I would recommend for them to watch it. It also helps with motivation and seeing the fun in sports. What is the most effective way for educators to create new learning methods based off analytics? Students learn better when they can visually see results. For example, if I could, I would have each student wear an active watch, such as a Fitbit. That way they can see their heart rate go up and write down which activity raised their heart rate the most. I currently have them find their pulse, but they either have a hard time finding their pulse or it takes up too much time for them to count their heart rate. And these are just my personal final thoughts here. I believe I believe technology is advancing in an accelerated rate, and implementing it into each lesson is very important. Students who love sports will continue to love it, but many students don't feel that way due to various reasons: lack of physical abilities, lack of interests, etc. One solution is video games. Video games have and will continue to grow in many forms, and one idea that popped up during my undergrad at SJSU is using 3D projectors. And here is a link that we can click on. I actually have the video ready on this side. and enjoy. Alright, so as you can see, students can throw a ball at the wall, and the projector um, can pick up the signal, and it makes pretty much physical activity into a video game. They have similar games like this at Disneyland. I've went to a few of them, and yeah, people love it. Um, it's easy to understand. You have the visuals on the wall, so it's a great teaching tool with the use of technology. Unfortunately, some schools don't have access to like an indoor gym, especially elementary schools. So you just have like a cafeteria, and you could have PE in a cafeteria, but scheduling is an issue, especially when you have to teach a class all day, teach your own class pretty much every hour. That wouldn't work out with the lunch, with the process of them giving out lunches. So that makes it kind of a challenge. So if school is invested in a actual indoor physical education setting, just like a classroom, then physical education would be able to progress um, with technology. Um, yeah, a lot of times PE is put on the back burner, so it's like, as long as they have an open space, like a basketball court, they'll be fine. But that doesn't take into account with weather changes. I mean, lately we've had really cold temperatures and rain, and I know it doesn't relate to uh, that's not as bad as other places, but I mean, it still presents a challenge, and it pretty much stops the lesson planning. Like if you're teaching basketball, you can't do it indoors. So yeah, it's just like a side note on my opinion there. Well, my name is Javier Cano, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation. I'll see you guys soon.